Please welcome back your GBTA Executive Director and COO, Mike McCormick.
Good morning. It is fitting that we are here in Denver, a city built by business travelers, to provide you an update on your association's work in Washington. Denver, after all, is one of the few cities in our nation's history that was not built on an ocean, railroad, or river, but rather in 1858, Denver just happened to be where gold was discovered. And because of that, business travelers came to the city and thrived. Too often, our government leaders fail to recognize the value, impact, and return on investment of business travel. I take that personally. GBTA must work hard to ensure decision makers in government understand the substantial impact we have on the world's economy. GBTA is aggressively engaging our global members to educate their governments on the impact of business travel and the following principles. Number one, it is imperative that business travelers be able to travel safely, efficiently, and with dignity. Number two, transportation infrastructure must keep pace with the needs of the business traveler. And number three, travel taxes must be fair and benefit all travelers. GBTA supports these basic principles so that business travel grows. But the recent behavior of Congress and the administration in Washington is severely hampering our efforts. Let's not sugarcoat it, it's highly dysfunctional. However, there has been some progress on issues important to all of us. There is some good news, some bad news, and much work left to do. I start with significant developments in an area very familiar to business travelers, transportation security. Now, I'm going to skip the TSA horror stories. They've already been told. Way too much. Everyone, and I mean everyone, knows that the current system is flawed. It's too expensive. Costs have grown 400% since 2001, and moving through security takes too long. 2 years ago, TSA monitored checkpoint wait times to keep processing at an average of 10 minutes or less. Coming to Denver, it took me 45 minutes. Others, it took 10. But it's this unpredictability that's so frustrating to business travelers. Now, on Sunday, we heard TSA's John Pistol commenting on Trusted Traveler. On the program's core challenge, security, there is no space between GBTA and TSA. It is equally our top concern. But clearly, questions remain on Trusted Traveler. How will it work? How will I be treated differently at the security checkpoint? And what will it cost? These are very important questions and ones that are at the top of GBTA's list. But standing on the sidelines criticizing doesn't move the program forward. Only by embracing and actively participating in this plan can we help mold and shape a screening system that is safe, efficient, and meets the needs of business travelers. While we are pleased with the developments on Trusted Traveler, I'm just aghast at Washington's failure to upgrade our nation's air traffic control system. As many of you know, our existing air traffic control system is in many ways inferior to the navigation capabilities in the phones we use and the cars we drive. This antiquated technology is a major reason for your flight delays, unnecessarily long routes, and wasted fuel. The planned upgrade, called NextGen, will help solve all these issues. But unfortunately, the 3-year saga of the FAA budget is a sad illustration of what's wrong in Washington. Now, if you're an outside observer, you may seem like a joke, but it's not funny to our industry. Instead of pushing forward, Congress has failed not once, not twice, but 20 times to put into law a budget into law that includes an accelerated NextGen plan. The result of all this bickering and gridlock? Well, last month, Congress failed to issue its 21st short-term extension. And as a result, you may have heard, the FAA was temporarily shut down. It took Congress and the administration 12 days to find a loophole so that they could reopen the FAA. So what was so important to shut down the FAA? Well, it turns out the Republicans wanted to eliminate certain rural air subsidies, which would save about $16 million a year. And the Democrats wanted to protect a union's ability to organize. Congress traded blame. They shut down the FAA, put thousands of people out of work, and stopped the collection of over $200 million a week in airline ticket taxes over issues that have very little to do, if anything, over the running of the FAA. So now, for now, the FAA is up and running. But this extension only lasts through September 16th. GBTA is doing everything we can to prevent another shutdown. Because many of you travel abroad, your legislative affairs team at GBTA is focused heavily on international travel issues. The emergence of economies such as India, China, and Brazil have opened the doors to incredible opportunities to all of you. But in order to realize that potential, the United States must improve how governments issue visas. Here, GBTA is working on initiatives with other travel groups to make that happen. For example, we're encouraging the United States to begin negotiations with Brazil and China so that we can be a part, and they can be a part, of the visa waiver program. Governments must recognize the importance of business travel. So this is where all of you have the power. In June, GBTA members from all over the country traveled to Washington and met with over 120 congressional offices. There we asked Congress to communicate with TSA to move forward with the Trusted Traveler Program. And 3 weeks later, their pilot Trusted Traveler Program was announced. Now, to be fair, we also asked Congress to move ahead with NextGen. And instead, they shut down the FAA. So I like to think we're batting 500. To our members, and especially to those chapters recognized as government relations partners, I say thank you. Please continue to work with GBTA to deliver our message. And to everyone else, will you help? You see, it's not just enough to attend convention. You must become a paid active member of GBTA and lend your voice to our message. Together we speak for the business travel industry, and it can be loud. I hope you will spread this message to your colleagues here and back at home when you go home on Wednesday and Thursday. And whether it's in the halls of Congress or the courtrooms across the country, business travel and its complex issues are being hotly debated.